For decades, George Strait has been known as the King of Country, a living legend whose music has defined generations and whose private life has always been shrouded in a certain mystique. But while fans have followed every note of George's storied career, there's always been a quiet curiosity about his only son, George "Bubba" Strait Jr. Now at 43, Bubba Strait is finally stepping into the spotlight and admitting what so many fans have long suspected. This is the story of a son's journey, a family's legacy, and the truth that's been hiding in plain sight all along. To understand the significance of Bubba Strait's recent admission, you have to know the man behind the name. Born in 1981, Bubba grew up in the shadow of his father's immense fame. While George Strait was selling out stadiums and topping the charts, Bubba was living a life that was, in many ways, remarkably normal. Raised in Texas, he attended local schools, played sports, and developed a love for the outdoors. But even as a child, Bubba was never far from the world of country music. He watched his father perform, sat backstage at legendary venues, and absorbed the rhythms and stories that would one day shape his own path. Despite the opportunities that came with being George Strait's son, Bubba's upbringing was grounded in humility and hard work. George and his wife Norma were determined to give their son as normal a childhood as possible. They shielded him from the glare of the spotlight, teaching him the value of privacy, integrity, and family. Bubba grew up with a deep respect for his father's achievements, but he was also encouraged to find his own way, to pursue his own passions, and to make his own mark on the world. As Bubba entered adulthood, he seemed to take a different path from his famous father. He attended Texas A&M University, where he excelled as a student and an athlete, particularly in the world of rodeo. Bubba became a skilled team roper, competing in events across Texas and earning a reputation as a talented cowboy in his own right. For years, it seemed as though Bubba was content to live a life outside the music industry, focusing on his family, his ranch, and his love of the land. But for those who paid close attention, there were always hints that music was in Bubba's blood. He occasionally joined his father on stage, co-wrote songs for George's albums, and even lent his voice to a few tracks. Fans began to wonder if Bubba was destined to follow in his father's footsteps, or if he would continue to carve out his own unique identity. The speculation only grew as Bubba became more involved in the creative process, contributing lyrics and melodies that captured the spirit of classic country while adding a fresh, modern twist. Over the years, Bubba's relationship with his father has been a source of fascination for fans and industry insiders alike. The two share a bond that goes beyond music, a connection forged through shared experiences, mutual respect, and a deep love for their family. George has often spoken about his pride in Bubba, praising his son's work ethic, his talent, and his commitment to living life on his own terms. For Bubba, the challenge has always been to honor his father's legacy while staying true to himself. Now at 43, Bubba Strait is finally ready to speak his truth. In a series of recent interviews, he's opened up about his journey, his struggles, and the decision that's been years in the making. What he's admitted is something that many fans have long suspected, that the pressure of living up to the Strait name has been both a blessing and a burden, and that his true passion has always been music, even if he took a different road to get there. In the next section, we'll dive deeper into Bubba's life behind the scenes, the pivotal moments that shaped his path, and the heartfelt admission that's resonating with fans across the country. The story of George Strait's son is one of legacy, identity, and the courage to finally step into the light. For much of his life, Bubba Strait was content to let his father's legend take center stage. While George Strait was racking up hit after hit and selling out arenas, Bubba was quietly building a life that, on the surface, seemed far removed from the glitz and glamour of country music. He poured his energy into rodeo, becoming a respected team roper and earning accolades in the competitive world of Texas rodeo circuits. Friends and family describe Bubba as humble, hardworking, and fiercely independent. A man who never wanted to ride on anyone's coattails, even his father's. But beneath the surface, music was always calling. Bubba grew up surrounded by the sounds of country, from the twang of guitars to the heartfelt lyrics that defined his father's career. He learned to play guitar at a young age, often strumming along to his dad's records in the privacy of his room. Songwriting became a secret passion, a way for Bubba to process his thoughts and feelings away from the public eye. He wrote about love, loss, and the unique rhythms of Texas life, crafting songs that were both deeply personal and universally relatable. As Bubba matured, he began to share his music with a select few, close friends, family members, and eventually his father. George recognized his son's talent immediately, encouraging him to pursue songwriting more seriously. The two began collaborating, with Bubba contributing lyrics and melodies to several of George's later albums. Their creative partnership was a natural extension of their close relationship, built on trust, mutual respect, and a shared love of storytelling. One of the pivotal moments in Bubba's journey came when he co-wrote "Living for the Night," a song that would become a standout track on George Strait's 2009 album, Twang. The song, which tells the story of a man grappling with heartbreak and searching for solace, resonated with fans and critics alike. For Bubba, it was a turning point, a moment when he realized that his voice, both as a songwriter and as a performer, had something unique to offer. The success of "Living for the Night" opened new doors, leading to more collaborations and a growing sense of confidence in his own abilities. Despite these achievements, Bubba remained reluctant to step fully into the spotlight. He valued his privacy and cherished the quiet life he'd built with his wife, Tamara, and their children. The Straits are a close-knit family, and Bubba has always prioritized his role as a husband and father above all else. He's often described as down-to-earth, approachable, and deeply loyal, a man who measures success not by fame or fortune, but by the strength of his relationships and the integrity of his work. Still, the pull of music was impossible to ignore. Over the years, Bubba continued to write and record, sometimes performing at small venues or joining his father on stage for special appearances. Fans who were lucky enough to catch these rare performances often remarked on Bubba's natural stage presence and the unmistakable Strait sound in his voice. The comparisons to his father were inevitable, but Bubba brought his own style and sensibility to every song, blending tradition with a modern edge. In recent interviews, Bubba has spoken candidly about the challenges of growing up as George Strait's son. He admits that the expectations were daunting, and that he often felt pressure to live up to the family name. But he also acknowledges the privilege of learning from one of the greatest country artists of all time, and the gratitude he feels for the opportunities he's been given. Bubba's admission is both honest and heartfelt. He's proud of his heritage, but he's determined to forge his own path and share his own voice with the world. In the next section, we'll explore the defining moments that led Bubba to finally embrace his musical destiny, the impact of his family's support, and the ways in which he's honoring the Strait legacy while making it his own. As Bubba Strait's journey unfolded, it became clear that his story was about more than just living in the shadow of a country music icon. It was about finding his own voice, embracing his roots, and learning to balance the weight of expectation with the freedom of self-expression. For years, Bubba's reluctance to step into the limelight was often misunderstood as disinterest or shyness. In reality, it was a conscious choice, a way to protect his sense of self and ensure that, when he did share his music, it would be on his own terms. The turning point came gradually, as Bubba's confidence grew and his passion for songwriting deepened. He began to see music not just as a family legacy, but as a calling that was uniquely his own. The support of his family, especially his father, played a crucial role in this transformation. George Strait, known for his humility and quiet strength, never pressured Bubba to follow in his footsteps. Instead, he offered encouragement, guidance, and the freedom to explore different paths. This unconditional support allowed Bubba to develop his craft at his own pace, free from the glare of public scrutiny. Bubba's wife, Tamara, has also been a steady source of encouragement. The couple, who married in 2010, share a deep bond rooted in mutual respect and shared values. Tamara's belief in Bubba's talent and her unwavering support have been instrumental in helping him navigate the challenges of balancing family life with creative ambition. Together, they've built a home that is both a sanctuary and a source of inspiration, a place where music, love, and laughter are always present. As Bubba became more comfortable with his identity as an artist, he started to take more risks. He began performing at local venues, collaborating with other musicians, and sharing his songs with a wider audience. Each performance was a step toward embracing his heritage, while asserting his individuality. Fans who attended these shows often remarked on Bubba's authenticity and the emotional depth of his music. His lyrics, often drawn from personal experience, resonated with listeners who saw in him a reflection of their own hopes, struggles, and dreams. One of the most significant moments in Bubba's journey came when he and George wrote several tracks for the Elder Strait's later albums. Songs like Hair for a Good Time, Arkansas Dave, and Out of Sight, Out of Mind showcased Bubba's knack for storytelling and his ability to capture the essence of country music. These collaborations were more than just professional milestones. They were father-son moments that deepened their bond and allowed Bubba to contribute to the Strait legacy in a meaningful way. Despite his growing success, Bubba has remained grounded. He continues to prioritize his family, his ranch, and his love of the outdoors. Friends describe him as humble, approachable, and deeply connected to his Texas roots. He's the kind of person who would rather spend a quiet evening with loved ones than seek out the spotlight. This authenticity is part of what makes Bubba's music so compelling. It's real, heartfelt, and unpretentious. In recent interviews, Bubba has reflected on the journey that brought him to this point. He admits that it took time to come to terms with the expectations that came with his last name, but he's finally at peace with his place in the world of country music. His admission is both a relief and a revelation for fans who have long wondered about his path. Bubba's story is a reminder that it's never too late to embrace your true calling, and that the courage to be yourself is the greatest legacy of all. In the next section, we'll look at how Bubba's music is resonating with a new generation of fans, the ways in which he's honoring his father's influence while forging his own path, and the exciting projects that lie ahead for the Strait family. As Bubba Strait's confidence as a songwriter and performer has grown, so too has his impact on the world of country music. While he may never have sought the spotlight in the same way as his legendary father, Bubba's authenticity and talent have begun to attract a devoted following of their own. Younger fans, many of whom grew up listening to George Strait's classics, are now discovering Bubba's music and finding a new voice that speaks to both tradition and the present moment. For longtime Strait family fans, it's a thrill to see the next generation step forward, not as a copy of the past, but as a fresh and genuine artist in his own right. Bubba's songwriting has become a bridge between eras, blending the timeless storytelling of classic country with a modern sensibility. His lyrics often draw from his own life, ranching, rodeo, family, and the wide, open Texas landscape. There's a sense of honesty and vulnerability in his songs that resonates with listeners who crave authenticity in a world that sometimes feels manufactured. Whether he's writing about the joys of fatherhood, the challenges of living up to a famous name, or the simple pleasures of life on the land, Bubba's music is rooted in real experience. One of the most exciting aspects of Bubba's recent journey has been his willingness to collaborate with other artists. He's worked with up and coming songwriters, lent his voice to duets, and even performed at charity events and local festivals. These collaborations have allowed Bubba to expand his creative horizons and connect with a broader audience. Fans who attend his shows often remark on the sense of community and camaraderie that fills the room, a testament to Bubba's down-to-earth personality and genuine love for music. The support of his family remains a constant source of strength. George Strait, now enjoying a well-deserved status as a country music elder statesman, continues to be Bubba's biggest fan and mentor. The two share a bond that goes beyond music, rooted in mutual respect and a deep understanding of what it means to carry on a legacy. George has often spoken about the pride he feels in watching Bubba come into his own, and the joy of sharing the stage with his son is evident in every performance. For Bubba, these moments are both humbling and inspiring, a reminder of the power of family and the importance of honoring those who came before. Bubba's journey has also inspired others who feel the weight of expectation in their own lives. His story is a reminder that it's possible to honor your roots while forging your own path, and that true fulfillment comes from embracing your passions, no matter how long it takes. Fans have reached out to Bubba with messages of gratitude, sharing their own stories of self-discovery and the courage it takes to step out of the shadows. In a world that often celebrates instant success, Bubba's slow and steady rise is a refreshing example of patience, perseverance, and staying true to oneself. Looking ahead, Bubba Strait's future in music looks brighter than ever. He's hinted at new projects on the horizon, including more songwriting collaborations, possible solo releases, and even the potential for a family album that brings together multiple generations of Strait talent. Whatever comes next, one thing is clear: Bubba is no longer content to stand in the background. He's ready to share his story, his music, and his heart with the world. In the next and final section, we'll reflect on the impact of Bubba's admission, the lessons he's learned from his journey, and the legacy he's building, not just as George Strait's son, but as an artist, a father, and a man who finally found the courage to admit what we all suspected, that music is, and always has been, his true calling. Bubba Strait's journey to self-acceptance and artistic fulfillment is a story that resonates far beyond the world of country music. It's a universal tale of living in the shadow of greatness, wrestling with expectations, and ultimately finding the courage to embrace your own path. For Bubba, the process of finally admitting his passion for music has been both liberating and transformative, not just for himself, but for everyone who has followed his story. As Bubba has stepped more confidently into the spotlight, he's also become a role model for others facing similar crossroads. His willingness to speak openly about the pressures of being George Strait's son and the internal battles he's fought to define his own identity has struck a chord with fans from all walks of life. Bubba's story is a reminder that it's never too late to pursue your dreams, and that the journey to self-discovery is often filled with twists, turns, and unexpected revelations. One of the most powerful aspects of Bubba's admission is the way it has deepened his connection with his family. The Straits have always been close, but the process of collaborating on music and sharing their creative passions has brought them even closer. George Strait, who has always been a supportive father, has expressed immense pride in Bubba's growth as an artist and as a man. Their relationship, built on mutual respect and shared experience, is a testament to the enduring power of family bonds. Bubba's own experience as a husband and father has also shaped his perspective on life and music. He often speaks about the importance of being present for his children, teaching them the values of hard work, humility, and kindness. Bubba's songs reflect these themes, offering listeners a glimpse into the joys and challenges of family life. For him, music is not just a career. It's a way to connect with others, to tell stories that matter, and to leave a legacy for the next generation. As Bubba looks to the future, he's excited about the possibilities that lie ahead. He's continuing to write and record new music, exploring different genres, and collaborating with a diverse range of artists. There's talk of a solo album, more live performances, and even the potential for a documentary that chronicles the Strait family's unique journey through the world of country music. Bubba is also passionate about mentoring young songwriters, sharing the lessons he's learned and encouraging others to find their own voice. The impact of Bubba's journey is already being felt in the country music community. Fans and fellow musicians alike have praised his authenticity, his humility, and his commitment to honoring the traditions of the genre while pushing it forward. Bubba's story is a reminder that true artistry comes from the heart, and that the most meaningful music is born from real experience and honest emotion. As we approach the final section of Bubba Strait's story, it's clear that his admission has marked a new beginning, not just for him, but for everyone who has ever struggled to find their place in the world. In the next and final section, we'll reflect on the lessons Bubba has learned, the legacy he's building, and the message he hopes to share with fans old and new. The journey of George Strait's son is far from over, and the best may be yet to come. As Bubba Strait stands at this new crossroads in his life and career, his story has become a powerful testament to the enduring strength of family, the importance of authenticity, and the courage it takes to follow your own path, even when the world is watching. At 43, Bubba's admission is more than just a headline. It's a declaration of self-acceptance, a celebration of legacy, and an invitation for others to embrace their own truths, no matter how long it takes. Looking back, it's clear that Bubba's journey was never about escaping his father's shadow, about learning to walk alongside it. The Strait name carries weight in the world of country music, but Bubba has discovered that legacy is not a burden. It's a gift. By honoring the traditions his father helped build, while forging his own identity, Bubba has found a way to contribute to the family story in a way that is uniquely his own. His music, shaped by years of quiet observation and personal reflection, is a bridge between generations, connecting the past to the present and pointing the way toward the future. Bubba's willingness to finally admit his passion for music has opened new doors, both creatively and personally. He's found a renewed sense of purpose, a deeper connection with his family, and a growing community of fans who appreciate his honesty and heart. For Bubba, the journey has been as important as the destination. Every song he writes, every performance he gives, is a testament to the lessons he's learned along the way: the value of patience, the importance of staying true to yourself, and the power of vulnerability. The legacy Bubba is building goes beyond music. As a husband and father, he's committed to passing on the values that have guided his own life: integrity, humility, and a love of storytelling. He wants his children to know that it's okay to take your time, to explore different paths, and to trust your instincts, even when the world expects something else. Bubba's story is a reminder that success is not always measured by fame or fortune, but by the impact you have on the people around you, and the authenticity you bring to everything you do. In the broader world of country music, Bubba's emergence as a songwriter and performer has been met with excitement and respect. Industry insiders see him as a bridge between eras, someone who understands the roots of the genre, but isn't afraid to push it in new directions. His collaborations with his father have produced some of the most memorable songs in recent Strait albums, and his solo work hints at even greater things to come. Fans are eager to see what the future holds, and there's a sense that Bubba's best work may still be ahead of him. For George Strait, watching his son come into his own has been a source of immense pride. The bond between father and son is stronger than ever, forged through years of shared experiences, creative collaboration, and mutual respect. George has often said that his greatest achievement isn't the awards or the records, but the family he's built and the legacy he's leaving behind. Bubba's journey is a living testament to that legacy. A story of love, perseverance, and the courage to be yourself. As Bubba looks ahead, he's filled with gratitude for the support he's received from family, friends, and fans. He knows that the road hasn't always been easy, but he wouldn't change a thing. Every challenge, every setback, has shaped him into the artist and the man he is today. And now, with a clear sense of purpose and a heart full of music, Bubba is ready to share his story with the world. The message Bubba hopes to leave is simple but profound. It's never too late to follow your dreams, to embrace your true self, and to honor the people and traditions that have shaped you. Whether you're a fan of country music, a parent, a child, or someone searching for your own path, Bubba's story is a reminder that the journey is just as important as the destination, and that the courage to admit what's in your heart can change everything. So, at 43, George Strait's son has finally admitted what we all suspected, that music is his calling, his passion, and his gift to the world. And as he steps into this new chapter, one thing is certain: the Strait legacy is in very good hands.